Urban legend. A humorous or horrific story or piece of information circulated as though true, especially one purporting to involve someone vaguely related or known to the teller. Urban legends exist in all parts of the world and are circulated from person to person. They tell of hauntings, murders, and can even be humorous as well. Some are true and others are not, or at one point were based on a truth. The United States of America is over 244 years old and is made of 50 states. Each state has its own story and culture to it, including its own urban legends. Urban legends that span a variety of supernatural and paranormal tales. From hauntings, cults, strange unknown beasts, to murderous killers, let us delve into the legends of these states. Welcome to Innocence Unknown. Maple Hill Cemetery, located in Huntsville, Alabama, was founded in 1822 and is the oldest and largest cemetery in the state, encompassing over 100 acres of land. Within this cemetery, located under a solid canopy of branches that never allows too much sunlight in, is a small playground called Drost Park. But to the locals, it is known as the Dead Children's Playground. The park was built in 1985, and at one point in 2007, when the cemetery needed more room to expand, the playground was removed. However, the locals were so attached to it that the playground was later reinstated and put back into place. The field right next to the playground is said to be the dumping ground for a serial child killer that lived in the area in the 1940s. Things get even darker, as there are trails that lead to old mining shafts said to have also been the home of the killer as well. Combine the rash of murdered children and all the children buried in the cemetery over the years, and you have a recipe for some very strange and unusual activity in the playground. For years, locals have claimed to see strange occurrences, and investigators have even seen very eerie happenings as well, all within the late hours of the night. It is said that at times you can see the swings moving back and forth on their own, even when there is no wind present. Sightings of dust kicking up randomly as if children are running around and playing. Hearing the sounds of laughter in the area, though no one is present. Claims of witnessing orbs and apparitions floating around. Even the sight of glowing colored eyes in the darkness. Even in death, it seems, kids will be kids. Alaska is the largest state in the US, spanning 663,000 square miles, known for its cold climates, 30 days of night cycles, and native heritage. It is home to quite a few urban legends and myths that are supernatural and paranormal, or could even be explained through science. One such legend is the Alaskan Triangle, often referred to as Alaska's Bermuda Triangle. The triangle connects the cities of Anchorage, Juneau, and a small town known as Barrow. The legend all began in 1972 of October, when a plane carrying the U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs, the Alaskan Congressman Nick Begish, aide Russell Brown, and pilot Don Johns. As the plane was flying through the region, it just seemed to vanish into thin air on their way from Anchorage to Juneau. Over the course of a month, over 50 and 40 military planes and dozens of boats scoured the area, 32,000 square miles in search of the plane. But they found nothing. There wasn't even a sign of wreckage or debris of any kind, which to this day, there still has been no trace of anything found. After this incident, it would seem that more and more started to go missing in the triangle. more planes, hikers, residents, and tourists started vanishing. It is said that in any given year, somewhere between 500 to 2,000 people go missing, and none ever found, nor even any evidence of them to be found. What could be causing these disappearances? There are many theories, from the paranormal to the more logical and scientific. This area is a harsh environment filled with dense forests, large mountain peaks, massive glaciers, deep crevices, and hidden caves. Add in such harsh weather as well, and this could easily result in planes going down and many easily getting lost or falling prey to wild predators in the area. Though, wouldn't there still be a trace of one vanishing? Perhaps these elements could obscure evidence of those that have gone missing. But there are other theories. Some believe it could be aliens abducting people. But why would visitors from another world want to take planes and people? Perhaps to study and further understand us and figure out what we are. Some believe it may be the work of a shape-shifting demon known as the Kushtaka. Perhaps this creature is preying on unknowing hikers and tourists in the area. But how would this explain the planes going down and vanishing? One such theory is that it is the work of an energy vortex. Some believe that these vortexes come in two forms, a negative and positive vortex. These are concentrated cones of energy that not only can bring positive and negative effects that affect the human body, but can cause other energy issues. A negative energy vortex is said that it can affect electrical instruments to malfunction. Electronic readings in the triangle have found that there are large concentrations of magnetic anomalies that have been known to cause compasses to point off their true bearing as much as 30 degrees. Rescue workers have even reported having experienced audio hallucinations, disorientations, even lightheadedness. Today, still many come to visit the triangle despite the many warnings from authorities. Whether it is the result of a natural occurrence, the work of ancient demons and evil spirits, or an energy vortex, or aliens from another world, one should be cautious and wary when deciding to take a tour of the triangle, for it is possible one will vanish without a trace. Arizona, a state known for its vast desert terrain and home to one of the most well-known native tribes of the country, the Navajo. The Navajo Nation is a reservation that spans 27,000 square miles of land within Arizona and New Mexico, and is also made up of not only the Navajo, but the Apache and Pueblo tribes as well. They are a people with their own culture and beliefs spanning all the way back to the 1400s. Within their culture, there is believed to exist an entity known as the Skinwalker. Known to be one of the most dangerous and volatile of witches within Navajo culture, they are called the Yi-Naldushii, meaning he who goes on all fours. The Skinwalker comes from the form of a Navajo witchcraft known as the Witchery Way, a practice that uses human corpse in different ways to form curses to harm or even kill others. The knowledge of these powers is passed down from generation to generation through their elders. A Skinwalker could have been a healer or spiritual guide that chose to utilize their powers for sinister and evil purposes and in order to increase their power. Either way, they all become the same, a being that hides among others as a human during the day, but at night hunts in the form of an animal. To become a Skinwalker, one is invited into a secret society that requires the evilest of deeds to be committed, which, when done, grants the new Skinwalker the ability to shapeshift into an animal, often a coyote, fox, cougar, or dog. Though they can take the shape of any animal, they then wear the skins of this animal. Thus, the name Skinwalker. In some cases, they may wear the skulls or antlers of an animal to grant them more power. This is why in the Navajo culture, it is seen as unacceptable to wear the pelts of predatory animals. Skinwalkers have a variant of abilities they use, such as being able to possess a human simply by locking eyes with them. Once possessed, the person no longer has control of their actions, and the Skinwalker can then make them say things they normally would not. It is believed that they can read minds, cause disease and illness among others, control another's thoughts, and even cause death. It is also said they can control creatures of the night such as wolves and owls, and they are believed by some to even be able to reanimate the dead to attack their victims. They are known to be quite unnaturally strong and fast. Some claim they have seen them run faster than a car or truck and leave tracks far larger than that of any animal. Many claim that when they have seen them, they are not fully animal, but not quite human either, and some have even reported to see them in tattered jeans and other clothing. When transformed, it is said that the only way to know that they are in the presence of a Skinwalker is to look at the eyes. Their eyes are human in this form, and when light is shined upon them, they turn red. When they are in their human forms, they will also have animal-like eyes as well. Skinwalkers are known to kill for a multitude of selfish reasons, such as out of greed, anger, and spite, even revenge. These beings will kill and rob graves for ingredients to use in their curses and spells. Most of all, they live off the life force of others to sustain their own lives or risk perishing themselves. There's still claims today of people seeing Skinwalkers. Some experiences include seeing strange animals keep up speed with their vehicles as they drive down the road. One story claims the hearing of laughter loudly coming from the nearby sheep pen on their ranch home. When investigating, they found all the sheep huddled in the corner, with one ram separating from the group, and stood upright and began laughing in a very human voice. When the two locked eyes, it noticed the eyes were not that of an animal's, just as the stories go, and then the creature walked off casually on all fours. Perhaps the most well-known sighting happened in the 1980s. A family driving through the Navajo reservation came to a curve, and as they slowed down, a being that was black and hairy jumped from the ditch in front of them. They noticed it was wearing pants and a shirt. After a few days, the family was awakened in their home by the sounds of loud drumming and chanting outside. When they peeked outside, they were greeted with the sight of 3 dark human forms outside their fence, the creatures seeming unable to go over the fence. Traditionally, the Navajo refrain from discussing these beings' existence with those outside of their culture for fear of a form of retribution by the Skinwalkers. For this reason, it is considered a taboo subject. Today, people still claim to have encounters with them, but sadly, none can truly be proven. Whether they are real or just that of a superstition and stories spread from an old culture is up to debate. It would be best to stay vigilant when traveling in Arizona, especially while visiting the Navajo Nation. Arkansas, the 25th state to join the U.S. in its history, and at one time succeeded from the Union to join the Confederacy during the American Civil War. Not only being the home of the 42nd President Bill Clinton, it is also home to a very haunted history. One such famous and well-known haunted place is the Allen House located in Monticello. The house was once owned by Joe and his wife Katie Allen, and his 3 daughters, Louie Manker, Lonnie Lee, and Liddell. The home remained in the Allen family for many years, and in 1948, one of the 3 daughters, Liddell, would take her own life by consuming cyanide. The bedroom Liddell died in would be then sealed off for 4 decades until the home would be sold off to new owners. When the room was reopened, it was found a cyanide bottle on the closet shelf. When the Allen family passed away, the house was then divided into separate apartments, and not long after, many began to claim to see and experience strange things in the home. claims of seeing Liddell in the mirror, and others seeing her standing in the closet. Some have claimed that they could hear giggling within the closet when the door is closed. Others that once lived there would say they could hear crying coming from empty rooms in the home, or footsteps moving around in the upstairs area. There were even times that the police would be called to the house for fear of intruders in the home, but to find that no one was even there. The first floor was turned into a small shop, and often when the shopkeeper would lock up at night, they would come in the next day to find items missing or moved. Today, the house is now owned by Mark and Rebecca Spencer, and after buying the home, they discovered 90 letters pertaining to the secret relationship that led to the suicide of Liddell. The current owners now hold routine tours of the home and allow those seeking to find the answers if the home is still occupied by Liddell. If you're one seeking a little adventure to prove if spirits still linger around after passing away, perhaps the Allen House would be an interesting visiting spot. Maybe you might get a glimpse of Liddell in the mirror as well. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Perhaps click the bell for notifications, and remember, hell is empty, and the devils are here.